Israel has a history of feeling threatened by many of its neighbors. Some of those disputes have been resolved, but right now the biggest headlines seem to come out of Israel's relationship, or relationship it doesn't have, with Iran. Where do you go from now?
Not with Iran, with Ahmadinejad. You know, first of all, Iran is not a homogeneous country. The Persians are not more than 55% there. And Ahmadinejad represents a Persian ambition to govern the Middle East religiously. Most of the people in the Middle East are against it. Then again, he puts all the emphasis on the prestige of the nuclear capacity, but the economy in Iran is tragic, it's poor. They have added 40 million people in the last 15 years to Iran. In 1990, there were not more than 30 million Iranians. Today, there are 70 millions. Many of them don't have food to eat. You know, 40% of the oil goes to supply food. Unemployment, drugs, people are unhappy. And I'm not so sure that Ahmadinejad will hold on forever. He doesn't answer the needs of the people. And, you know, ironically, I can say, he did a good job for the West, Ahmadinejad. Nobody would unite the West but Ahmadinejad. He is so crazy, he's so extreme, he's so exaggerated, that he brings many parties together. And if he will continue, it will be continued.
How much do you feel threatened by what he's saying?
We have to take it seriously, because it happened to us already once in our history. So we don't have the luxury to take it with a smile. And we don't have the wish to take it as though it's a verdict of heaven. No. We think it can be prevented, but we have to take it seriously. And we don't want to monopolize the problems of Iran. We don't want to make it an Israeli-Iranian conflict. It is not. Iran is a problem for the rest of the world, and Israel is not the leader of the world, and we don't have the ambition to become a leader of the world.
Israel has often in the past, in the face of public opinion and world opinion, taken unilateral action. Would you consider that against Iran?
When the threat was unilateral, not this time, it's universal. And we don't want to monopolize it, nothing whatsoever. We think it is a problem that the world has to solve, not us.
But it is a unilateral problem in a sense when Ahmadinejad says he believes Israel should be wiped off the map. That is a very personal, one-on-one problem.
We watch it very carefully, and we make it public, and we criticize it, and we watch what it's doing. Yes, we are careful, we are alert, but we don't take it as the overall position of the Iranians and the permanent position of the Persians. Nothing whatsoever. He won't hold on, don't forget it.
One of the suggestions has been to him, with regarding to Iran's nuclear ambitions, that he allow in, with proper inspection rights, members of the UN body, the IAEA. I'm sure that's something that you believe he should do, to inspect what's going on. Would it not be a step in the right direction if Israel also allowed in UN Atomic Agency inspectors?
Israel never announced an ambition to produce bombs. Israel said we shall never be the first to introduce a nuclear bomb in the Middle East. Israel doesn't refer to the nuclear position as such, but as a psychological deterrent. We know that Israel is being suspected of having such an option, and we say suspicion is enough. If you have suspicion, which means if you have a deterrent, you don't need more. It's a different situation altogether. And then let me say, Ahmadinejad and the Iranians are saying they're not interested in nuclear bombs. They just want to enrich uranium. I don't know exactly what for. But then they're producing missiles of long range. What for? If they're not going to have bombs, what do they need the missiles for? It's like believing in Allah and not believing in Muhammad. So I think that the West should develop a campaign against them producing and collecting long-range missiles. There was even an agreement between the Russians and the Americans to limit the range of the missiles. So, I mean, the story is not yet unfolded completely. And I think the problem with the Geneva institution is they couldn't have prevent the dispersion of nuclear production. How are they going to control the use of nuclear weapons? It's becoming very serious. And I don't think that even Putin, that helped to build a nuclear reactor under control in Iran, would like the idea that a nuclear bomb can arrive to Chechnya. And I don't think that Great Britain will agree that there will be 500 or 600 or 700 terrorists on her land that are ready to bring down planes with passengers, or Paris or Spain. Nobody is. And I think everybody, every responsible leader is trembling to the idea that a terrorist may get hold of a nuclear capacity. The world will be uncontrollable. For that reason, I say it's not just the Israeli problem.
But there are also other people who are concerned about the fact that, as you say, there is suspicion that Israel does have a nuclear device. Isn't it time just to own up and say we do have a bomb?
Why should we do it? We don't have an ambition to have a bomb. Look, our ambition is to see the Middle East free from wars and free from bombs, not the other way around. And until now, it served the purpose. Why should we go further than that? You know, Amr Moussa is today the Secretary General of the Arab League, used to be the Foreign Minister of Egypt. We were rather friendly. One day he came over to me and said, Shimon, we are such good friends. Why wouldn't you take me to Dimona and have a look? What are you doing there? He says, Amr, are you crazy? I shall take you to Dimona and you'll see there is nothing there. Then you'll stop to being suspicious. You'll stop to be worried about war. And I shall be out of my job. I don't mind that you are suspicious. And that is, we never went further than that. Israel, for example, never tried a bomb, never tried to test a bomb. The minute we reached the limit or the purpose of having a deterrent, we stopped.
Are these the words of a man who would like to be Israel's next president?
Well, if you challenge me like it, 80% supports me. I think because of my views. I'm not in a beauty contest, and I don't hide my views, which means that a better majority, a lion majority of the Israelis think that what I'm saying makes sense. And they know exactly that I represent something which is deep and profound. My teacher was David Ben-Gurion. The first lesson he told me that the highest degree of wisdom is the moral call. There's nothing wiser than that. And I'm trying to follow this lesson.
But in the sense that there may be something that you could achieve in your latter years, would it be fulfilled by being given the presidency?
I'm not sure. Look, all my life I thought it's more important to decide what to do than what to be. And maybe I wasn't elected to the first post, but if you'll take my record of what I did, and you'll take the record of some other people that were elected and did nothing, I dare saying that my record is by far richer in every sense. Because I think, you know, I can go even further than that. I say that on occasions it's better to be number 2 than number 1. Why? If you are number 2 and you have a cause, you are 2, not 1. If you are number 1 and all your life you try to defend being number 1, you don't have a number 2. And I worked with many people, some of them that were in superior positions, officially at least. We worked together, and I don't mind that my name or my rank was number 2 or number 3. I don't care really, as long as I got the freedom. You know, the late Prime Minister Rabin and myself were contenders. I told him, look, if you will go for peace, you won't have a better colleague than myself. If you won't go for peace, you will not have a stronger opponent myself. And we work together, and I don't mind. And I think by working the two of us, in spite of the fact that we are contenders, we served our nation better. And I believe that you are as great as the cause you serve, and you are as small when you try to serve yourself.
Final thoughts. There's often a disparity between what can be achieved and what somebody would like to achieve. If in a few years' time you were able to reflect on what you had achieved with regard to peace, which you say is your priority, and what you would like to have achieved, clearly you'd hope that they're the same thing, but is that likely?
No, I think it's a waste of time. I'm totally disinterested in history or biography, for the simple reason you can't correct it. And you made a lot of mistakes, and I don't want to publish them even. So all my energies are invested in the future. Many people prefer to remember rather than to think. Let the internet remember. Let the people think. Let the people imagine. That's why we have our faculties and occasions. And to go back on history, what for? We were not born in our concept to be the masters or controllers of another people. It stands against everything that we stand for. You must understand it. If you take away the moral foundation of the Jewish existence, you don't have a Jewish existence. And don't take it lightly. We don't like what we were forced to do. We never looked to become a military force. We never wanted to have even victories, military victories. We are forced to have it, because otherwise we would disappear as a people. But if we have a choice, and for us to bring equality is in accordance with a basic Jewish obligation to respect every human being as though as he is, he was born in the image of the Lord. We are not masters. We are not the lords.
There's still a great deal to be achieved in terms of peace. Is it
not in a
realistic?
hurry. I'm not in a hurry, you know. I'm not young, but neither am I in a hurry, and whatever I can contribute, small or more, to make peace, to introduce understanding, I think I'm privileged to do so. And I don't have other intentions.